Alright, welcome to another painting video. Today we are going to be painting a US paratrooper from World War II, US Airborne, for the game Bolt Action. This is one of my favorite gaming systems. I've been playing it for a while. It's really fun, very chaotic. The models, they're pretty simple. You can see there's not a crazy amount of detail, but they're fun to paint, easy to paint. And this is just a regular trooper with a Thompson, and we'll be going over that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint their uniform. We're gonna use this Vallejo US field drab. A lot of the Vallejo colors are named after World War II colors, so it's very easy to find the colors that you need for things. A lot of the uniforms in World War II, on the US side anyway, were a tan-ish green. Germans had camo. We didn't really develop camo yet until we were in Japan, and those soldiers the Marines there had camouflage, but it wasn't very good. It faded really quickly and easily in the sun. Woo! Look at the Rona. No, I don't have the Rona. So we've already primered him with a desert yellow, so it's gonna make doing this part very easy. We're just kind of doing a quick base coat of it. You could leave it this color if you wanted to, just this desert yellow color, but I do not. I'm just going to be painting his pants and his shirt. The good thing about this game is that it is the same scale as, you know, Warhammer and Age of Sigmar and all those other games, so you can still use the same terrain. It's not too fantasy-y or too sci-fi-y. That really kind of helps. It's a very chaotic and fun game. Alright, so that's the brown done. Just base coated his uniform. Now I'm just gonna really quickly go over his skin with this Vallejo Game Color Pale Flesh. Let's just put some of that out. It's not too dry in here. Oh, come on. Gotta be careful sometimes with these paint pots because the paint gets hard inside, and then when you go to let it out, it'll shoot the dry cap out of here and then just explode paint all over the place. So you just gotta be a little careful and keep your models away from where you're putting the paint out if you've had it for a while. If it's new paint, you're probably fine. Just paint his hands. Just taking it easy today with a pretty simple model. Hope everyone's doing well. Now we've base coated the face and everything. It's flesh. Now let's get our browns going. So we're gonna use the leather brown, Vallejo again. This is a very good do-all color for woods and just leather bits. So, oops, wrong color. Grab this one. We'll paint his little boots. Make sure you get it all. I was looking at I played some Bolt Action today. I was looking some at my older models that I painted, and I definitely missed a lot of spots. When I was painting over the primer, there's still a lot of primer that I can see on it. So you just gotta be extra careful when you're picking out spots and going through the model. You don't have to paint the guys historically. You can paint them however you want. You don't have to. It can be rainbow colors. I want them to be the traditional colors. Adds a little bit more to the battles and stuff for me. Okay, so we gotta get the stock and the handguard of the Thompson. Might have to go back over it later. We accidentally hit it with some colors when we're doing stuff later. Cool. So we got that, and let's get the handle of the shovel. That's another thing about this game, you're not painting tons and tons of people. It is a little bit smaller. It's like more traditional wargaming size. It's not like you're painting full battalions and stuff, and it has a lot of freedom in the list building, unlike some other like World War II games that are going too hard on the realism part and not on the game part, which, you know, was really a turnoff for me for like Flames of War. The scale's like way small, so you know the terrain that you already have for some of your other games doesn't work for it, and then you have to build lists that are like correct, I guess. So they have to be like, the battalions have to contain the right amount of people, and like the lieutenants and like the tanks and stuff. You do get to field a lot of different stuff that way, which is cool. But I think just focusing on the little bits is more fun. Okay, so now we're gonna paint the green bits. And there's a couple of greens that we're gonna go with, but for most of it, we're gonna use this Vallejo uniform green. A lot of the webbing and stuff on the belts was this weird color. Back in the day. So we'll get the little pouches on the belt. Get the Thompson magazine case. So as you can see, we're almost already done with this model. It's very simple, but still fun to paint, and looks cool on the battlefield with your tank and all that other stuff going on. And the thing too, like the battlefields are a lot more cluttered than most games. So you put in the hedgerows, you put in the fields, and like the destroyed churches. It's really dope. Paint his little satchel. his backpack. We'll go back over the straps and stuff to make sure that those get the leather treatment as well. Went to the store today and bought some more models. So there are gonna be some more interesting stuff coming up on the channel soon-ish. Gotta see if it's sustainable. I'm getting different models every week, but I do have a lot currently, so I do have a backlog, and I do have little extra bits here and here and there. That's what I built this guy from. Is I had some the sets for these come with a lot of extra stuff, so you can build a lot more than just the bare minute, than just what's in the box. Paint his little straps there. Same thing here. There's some. The top of them are up here. Okay, and now we're gonna paint the helmet green. And this is, I'm just trying to get most of it at this point, but the webbing on top will be a different color, but we need to really get inside the webbing right now to get the base coat in there. Okay. Now we're gonna let that green dry before we go over the stuff with the extra colors. I actually missed a spot here that I kind of went over, so I'm gonna clean that up as I go. Okay, so let that green dry. While that's dry, we're gonna go paint the gun, the rest of the gun, with Vallejo black. A little thin. Now we're going to be a little careful. We don't want it to spill on the rest of the model. So that gets us the Thompson painted. So get it to focus. Alright. Get some more under that. Okay. We'll take that brown and get the strap of the Thompson, the leather brown that we were using. Since the strap back then would either have been canvas or leather. Thompsons were not very common back in the day. They were very expensive to manufacture, so early in the war especially, you didn't see them that much. I don't see where the strap is going. Let's see, it's just running down there, I guess. kind of weird. The arm kind of just blobs into nothing. Oops, I was out of frame, sorry. The arm kind of just blobs into nothing, so the stock's in there somewhere. And I guess we can take the brown and just kind of put a stripe of brown in there to signify the stock being there. Okay. Now we're gonna take this German camo beige from Vallejo. I use this a lot for like tans and stuff in my armies, for like Sigmar and stuff like that, but right now I'm going to use this because it's a very pale color to paint the bandage on his helmet. I think that's a good color for like the paper that it would have been wrapped in. Okay, so that's good. So then we're gonna take our olive green model color Vallejo, and this is how we're gonna do some of the extra stuff. So they had, again, I don't know, I'm not gonna say that I know everything about World War II because I definitely don't, but they had these little rectangle knee pad type deals on their uniforms. So that's just a cool little extra detail that you can add to your guys. So we're gonna do it with this olive green color because it definitely was green. It also had elbow pads that were the same kind of rectangle on their uniforms. Okay. Now we're gonna dry brush this olive over the top of the green that we already put down, the uniform green. And that should give us some separation. The olive is a little bit lighter than that uniform. That uniform green is kind of like a foresty green. So this should give us a little bit of variation. Let's see. Same thing for the backpacks and the pouches. Just kind of give them a little bit of give them a whack with the olive. Did a little bit. Okay, so now we're gonna go back and get those the little pouch straps on the backpack. The brown. Some of the little buttons. Okay, so this is him pre-wash, our little World War II guy. Now, the brown colors of the Airborne was kind of greenish, so we're gonna use this military shader, which is like a green shade from Army Painter. We're also going to use, we're gonna use the other wash, okay, so we forget that part. We're gonna take this, load up our brush, and just hit the model with it. And it's gonna give it a little bit of a green tinge to the brown, which is exactly what we're looking for. just go through, get all the cracks and crevices, make sure that this wash is going into all those little areas that you want. I'm gonna do something else to the backpack, so don't worry about that right now. And that's gonna give him kind of like a greenish shade to his uniform. Okay. Next one we're gonna get is the skin. So we're gonna use the Reichlin flesh for pale skin. This brings out the red tones in it. This box of it's almost gone, so that really details out his face a lot more. His hands. Okay. Finally toss this. And we just wash the rest of it with Agrax Earthshade from Citadel. Give it a little bit of a shake. And that's what we'll get with the browns. So we'll really get those boots and we'll get the pouches on his back and the backpack and all that stuff too with this. Also the helmet, I'm gonna hit with this too. It's gonna really darken the olive that we put in there. Let's get the pictures here. His back. This gloss all goes away when it's dry. It's just, yeah, while it's wet, it's still kind of glossy. You can hit the little spots that you missed here and there with the wash too. And with that, we have painted a World War II paratrooper. So it's, as you can see, like this, these models are very quick to paint. You can definitely get much more detailed if you want to. But, you know, in the spirit of rapidness, you can get pretty good results pretty quickly. Like I said, all the glossiness goes away after the wash is done, after the wash dries. So yeah, U.S. Airborne World War II with the Thompson. I'll catch you guys on the next one.